Well, it's John Mayfield, the real estate tech guy, here for another tip to help you pass the real estate exam on the very first attempt. So, we're going over 5 tips that I think are very, very important for you to really know and to apply on exam day to pass that test on the first attempt. So, here's tip number 2. But before we get to tip number 2, what was tip number 1? That's right. You're going to take your time and you're going to read the questions 2 or 3 times. So what is tip number 2? It goes along with tip number 1. If you don't know the answer, skip the question, move ahead, and come back to it later. And here's why. Chances are they will answer the question down the road, okay? So just skip the question. The exam is done through computer. They will not let you finish. They will give you several warnings that, hey, you haven't chosen all of the answers. And by all means, take a good, hearty guess. I mean, do not leave anything blank, okay? But skip that question. Because again, as I've mentioned, they will more than likely answer the question down the road. Now, here's what the test people love to do. I shouldn't say test people. If I have a test person watching right now, when I say test people, the people who write the test questions, the PSI folks, and I'm not picking on them, but I'm just telling you the way the exam works. And I don't know why they do this, if they just get a kick out of messing with people's minds or what. But I've seen it in action on myself, and I've had many, many students tell me this. So here's what I'm gonna eliminate all of your concerns right now, okay? Yeah, I just told you, you read the question, what, 2, 3 times, you read all the answers, you know what they want you to answer, and you're like, man, I just don't know, I'm really confused. Skip it, okay? The next question, and the next 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 questions, you might not be able to answer. Now again, why they do this, I have no idea. I think it's wrong, and I don't think it should be that way, but why give 5 or 6 tough questions in a row? Because all that's going to do is play with your mind, and it's going to maybe put you into panic mode, and you're not going to remember or think clearly. So you know what? We're going to beat their system, because you're going to say, John Mayfield, the real estate tech guy from Global Real Estate School, said that's a trick they use, and I'm not going to let it rattle me and get me upset. I'm going to stay focused, and I'm going to keep moving through, because even if you get 5 or 6 hard pitches, and I'm going to use a baseball analogy, if you go through 5 or 6 questions and you're like, I don't know the answer, skip it, okay? Just skip it. Because chances are they're going to answer those 5 or 6 questions with other questions down the road. And I guarantee you, you'll get to some questions and you'll say, oh, now I know how to answer that one question back there. And then you'll get to another question and same thing, okay? So here's tip number 2. You do not know the answer. You've read it 2 or 3 times. You've read the answers 2 or 3 times. You just don't know what to answer. Skip it, okay? Or if you narrow it down to 2 and you're just not certain which one it is, skip it, because chances are they will answer that question down the road. Now, remember what John told you. Remember what I told you. I'm just trying to put that in your mind. Remember what Global Real Estate School, John Mayfield, the real estate tech guy, is telling you right now. It's not uncommon to have 5 or 6 or 7 hard questions in a row. Do not let that get you upset. Just shrug it off, because you know what? Or shrug it off, I should say. Shrug or shrug. Anyway, we're having fun, right? It's YouTube, and we can do those kinds of things. Just blow it off, and don't let it get you upset. I want you to come back to it later, all 5 or 6 of those, because chances are they will answer those questions for you. Now tomorrow on tip number 3, We're going to build on this, okay? Because I've got a great tip for you that goes along with both of these first two tips. So remember, tip number 1, take your time, read the questions 2 or 3 times. There's no extra points for finishing early. Nobody's going to be all impressed if you finish in under 60 minutes. What we're more concerned about is that you pass the test, okay? So read those questions a couple of times and make sure you know what they're asking you. And then, tip number 2, skip the question if you don't know the answer. And don't be surprised if they throw 4, 5, 6 hard questions at you in a row. Don't let that mess with your mind. Don't let that upset you. You just stay focused on the test and you are going to do fine. Well, we have subscribers we want for our YouTube channel. So be sure and subscribe. We'd love to have you as a subscriber. We have some great study resources at globalrealestateschool.com. I have digital flashcards. I have a course called My Real Estate Exam Coach with short video content. And it's designed for a mobile phone. That's what I love about it. Everyone that's using that I've spoken to who's passed the test. I had one student, he tried to pass this test, and bless his heart, I felt so sorry for him. And I said, do you have My Real Estate Exam Coach? And he said, no. And I said, you need to try that. So he had one last chance to take the test. He studied with My Real Estate Exam Coach. He passed the test, and he got licensed. So go to Global Real Estate School. Check us out. We have lots of courses in lots of states, and we've got tools to help you grow your business, and also have tools and resources to help you after you get your license. So globalrealestateschool.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and don't forget, take your time, read the questions a couple of times, and if you do not know the answer, you do what? You skip the question and come back to it later. And don't be surprised if they throw a bunch of fast pitches at you, okay? You're going to do great, and you're going to pass the test. And I'm coming back tomorrow to give you tip number 3 on how to pass the real estate exam on the very first try. Hey, as always, thanks for watching. Go out and make it a great day.